Hi, let's talk about restful sleep that heals chronic pain. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're watching live, please let us know. I'm Dr. Ruth of Chronic Pain Rescue. We have a great guest today. I am so excited. In fact, this post just announcing this today was the most popular post that I put up this week. So I know the audience is excited as well. We are blessed to have Dr. Funke Afolabi-Brown. She is a sleep medicine specialist. I'm going to let her say more about what she does.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Ruth. I'm Dr. Funke Afolabi-Brown. I'm a sleep physician and I'm the founder of Restful Sleep MD. And really my mission is to help people change their relationship with sleep so that they can thrive in every area of their lives.
Right. Okay. So, I know everybody always says you need to get more sleep. You need more sleep. What does sleep do for us? Why is sleep important? I know it sounds like a basic question, but so many of us don't get enough sleep. We don't, in fact, I sometimes wish I didn't have to sleep. So um what's going on when we're sleeping?
Yeah, that's a great place to start. So sleep is, I always say, sleep is not just a cure for sleepiness. It's not just this nuisance that we have to do at the end of the day because the work for the day is done. Because it turns out the work for the day is never done.
Right.
So it's a biological necessity. So it's not just about something we want to do or we would like to do or not do. It's something we have to do. So when we think about the process that takes place during sleep, there's healing occurring, there's removal of sort of waste products that build up over the course of our day
Mhm.
and kind of builds up on the surface of our brains. And studies have shown that some of these products staying on there can contribute to the memory issues, and over time can actually contribute to Alzheimer's and things
Mhm.
like that. So it's really, really important. So that's one thing. And then even our mental, physical, emotional well-being, our immune system gets regulated. We have release of several hormones during sleep. So all those things occur when we sleep. So when we
Mhm.
cheat ourselves of sleep or when we deprive ourselves either intentionally or unintentionally, we're really not getting those benefits.
Right.
Pain, your ability to tolerate pain, because I know we're on a pain platform, right? So
Mhm.
your ability to withhold and have resilience and actually heal actually also occurs with sleep. So many benefits all around.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Um, just to say, so I know sometimes pain is a problem with sleep, but sometimes it's not necessarily the pain. Sometimes
Mm,
people have racing thoughts, or
mm,
maybe they have difficulty falling asleep. Maybe
mm.
they felt sleepy until they lie down and then they can't fall asleep, or sometimes they wake up during the night. Are there different approaches depending to what you do for that, depending on what the problem is?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. And usually what I see also is sometimes you may have had people who had either a little bit of issues with sleep already. Maybe as kids, they had some trouble sleeping or something. And then something happens over the journey of life. They may have had, some incidents that may have, sort of triggered this pattern where they now start having hard time sleeping. And some of those incidences could be, something emotional, right? Maybe the loss of a loved one
Mhm.
or some change in circumstances in life. Maybe there's a big move or a loss of a job or, a trigger like, a diagnosis or pain. That could be it. It may be that they experienced pain for a while and then it made their sleep worse. And
Mhm.
now the pain is gone, but the sleep
Mhm.
issues have persisted. So
Mhm.
that's really what we call insomnia. And there's so many things that feed into it. So some of it is, some triggering or precipitating factor that sort of leads you to it. on a background of maybe some predispositions already. Maybe you had some tendencies that, already made you more likely to be very sensitive to sleep issues. And then finally, you now get into this habit where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. So I'm going to, go on my phone. I can't sleep. So I'm going to drink some alcohol. I can't sleep. So I'm going to, rely on the TV or something else. And so it now becomes this vicious cycle. And so you don't even know what is pain as a contributor to sleep issues, and what is sleep doing to your pain. And so it really becomes this mishmash, and it's really common. And I think in terms of my approach, we try to figure out what started this all. So we go back a little bit in order to move forward, because we really can't just put a band-aid and say, take this pill or something. It's more, where is this coming from? And so addressing those underlying issues then can help you sleep better.
Right. Do you find a lot of people have, because I found I have sleep apnea,
Hmm.
um, and so I thought I was sleeping well, but then I fall asleep during the day. I fall asleep if I
Hmm.
have me sit too long,
Hmm.
and I'm sleepy. But I mean, I didn't know that that's what the problem was. I learned
Hmm.
it. My son, in fact, had it, and when I went to take him and read
Hmm.
about it, I said, "Oh, I think maybe I have it too." And I got tested,
Hmm.
and sure enough. But is that a typical thing that you? How do people know that they should be evaluated for that? What are some things that let them say, "Well, maybe I have that too."
Hmm. That's an excellent question. When it comes to restful sleep, really we're focusing on three different things. We're focusing on the quantity of sleep. So a lot of times people are like, well, I'm getting 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep, so I should be fine. That's just the quantity of sleep. And then the other piece I try to identify is, are there issues with your quality of sleep? Especially when you're now aware that, oh, sleep is a thing, I need to sleep better, but why do I still don't not feel right
Mhm.
even when I sleep? So then we delve into what is wrong with the quality of sleep. It could be a medical issue, and so that's exactly what you talked about. People with chronic pain actually are at a higher risk of sleep apnea. And so
Oh,
that's something that, yeah, definitely something to be aware of. And so it could be sleep apnea, insomnia is a problem. It could be things like what we call restless leg syndrome. So you might just have these difficulties in your legs or discomfort in your legs that makes it hard for you to fall asleep. It could be, things like narcolepsy, where you just have this pathologic or this abnormal need for sleep, no matter how much sleep you need. So that's the quality. Now, it could be other things like caffeine or alcohol or watching TV. All those things can affect the quality as well. And so usually what I recommend is, work on the basic sleep hygiene stuff. Try to get enough sleep, try to avoid caffeine, try to avoid all those things. And you're still tired, then it could be an underlying sleep disorder. It could be an underlying medical condition too that may not necessarily be sleep. So sometimes it could be, again, pain. It could be reflux. It could be, heart issues, diabetes. All those things can actually affect the quality of sleep you have. But the key is first starting with the foundation, and then you're like, wait, I'm still struggling. Then just like you did, it's time to get yourself checked.
yeah. It's important. I guess I just put that out there, but could you explain what sleep apnea is? I just
Yeah, great question. So sleep apnea is literally difficulties breathing during sleep. It's pauses in your breathing during sleep. So we all have, we all have our normal airway, right? When you're awake, you're sitting upright, your what we call your upper airway tone is normal. But then when you go to sleep, things are very relaxed. Your upper airway muscles are nice and relaxed. And so you may hear snoring in some people. There's certain people that are more at risk. So, of course, people who are overweight may be at risk, people who are on certain medications, because that really relaxes that upper airway as well. And actually, women in the postmenopausal phase are also at risk for sleep apnea. Children as well, especially if they have big tonsils. Regardless of what those risk factors are, you go to sleep, you may initially start snoring, and then you start to have pauses in your breathing. The reason why is because that your throat is, as you're asleep, your throat is sort of almost like collapsing on itself. And then there may be complete collapse where no air comes in. Now, what that does is it triggers a stress response in your body, because you then go into this fight flight mode where your brain then kicks in to get you out of sleep, especially when you're in either really deep sleep or dream sleep, what we call REM sleep. So when that happens, guess what? You're aroused from good quality sleep, then you go back to sleep again. And you can imagine that then fragments your sleep. So that can make you tired, whereby even if you've slept 9 hours, you still feel exhausted. Another thing that it does, again, apart from just that increased stress response, is that oxygen levels then decrease. So you can't really get oxygen to your brain, to your heart, when you stop breathing all the time. And you can't really get rid of carbon dioxide effectively. And so oxygen not getting to the brain and the heart is not good. It's not good on the short term. It's not good on the long term. So that's where we now start to hear about just different medical conditions that can come up: heart attacks, increased risk of hypertension, memory problems, feeling like you're living in a fog. A lot of people may then go on to develop risks like diabetes and obesity and things like that. So it's this spiral which starts because you're really not breathing well during sleep.
Right. And it's not something to, I remember I didn't, fortunately, when I first was diagnosed, I was a good 20 something pounds heavier. And so I had severe sleep apnea, and I went through a whole lot of different CPAP machines. I did not like it. I stuck with it as long as I could. And fortunately, when I lost enough weight, my sleep apnea became mild, and therefore I didn't have to use the CPAP machine. I could use a dental device, and I'm fine with the dental device. Not my son; he doesn't like that either. But but what you said was important. If people have it, it shouldn't be ignored. They really do need to use something so that they, like you said, they continue to breathe well and hopefully get a good night's sleep. I know there's a group that is your ideal clients, not necessarily the paying people, but what are the people that come to you mostly, and that you're really asking, please come to me, I can help you.
Oh, it's mainly, I of course, women also have pain, right? So so really it's busy moms and their children, because we know that as moms we're juggling so many things, and sometimes it's the kids that are getting in our way of getting good sleep. So really my focus has really been on helping women navigate why they're so tired all the time, why they have low energy, low motivation, and they just also have a hard time getting their kids to fall asleep. So we walk through this, right? We try to identify what is getting in your way of good sleep. So, where are there mindset issues? And then what are medical things that might be going on that's getting in your way of sleep? Are you snoring? Are you, restless at night? So we really delve into all of that. What boundaries do you need to set in place? How can you teach your child to sleep better so that you can have the evening to yourself? So we walk through all of that to get them sleeping better. But there's so many reasons why women wouldn't sleep, right? So it could be mind racing, like you mentioned at the beginning. It could be pain or discomfort or stress or anxiety or things like that. So we're really identifying what's getting in the way, and then we're providing solutions to address those issues.
Right. Very good. Very good. If there's anyone, because this is live, so if there's any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat. We'll see them. What if the pain is the problem? That they're having pain, I guess they can take medication. Is there anything else that you would recommend to help people sleep if the pain is what's keeping them up? And then, like you said, it's a vicious cycle, because if they could get a good night's rest, they'd feel better, their pain would be less. So what would you recommend?
Yeah. So I think it all depends on what the sleep issue is.
Okay.
Because someone comes to me and says, I don't sleep well. That is a loaded question or a loaded complaint. So we delve into why don't you sleep well? Does that mean, like, are you waking up tired? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you
Mhm.
getting into bed and you're tossing and turning? Is your mind, you know what I mean? So we're really delving into what the cause is, because
Okay.
based on what the cause is, then we can determine what the plan needs to be. Now, if you tell me, oh my goodness, as soon as I lay in bed, my back starts to hurt, my leg starts to hurt, then we think of, okay, maybe we need, to work with your pain specialists to,
Mhm.
medications. Are there certain physical therapy exercises that we could do before you get into bed? Are there some pillows? Are there, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's one bucket. If
Mhm.
it's which is something that I see more commonly, if it's more of, I'm laying in bed all the time because I'm in pain, but now I
Mhm.
cannot sleep because I'm in
Mhm.
bed, and I really don't seem to feel sleepy, and I'm
Mhm.
frustrated. So usually that might be insomnia. Insomnia is difficulties falling asleep, staying asleep, or early morning awakenings. And so what we then do with that is, what's driving the insomnia? Are there behaviors? Are there thoughts and things like that that are getting in your way of sleep? And so we then provide this strategies. The gold standard actually for insomnia, even with pain,
Mhm.
is what we call cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia.
Okay.
And so we're really walking through, the habits, the behaviors. We're using certain strategies to
Mhm.
make sure that we are now helping the person associate the bed with sleep. Because if
Right.
they've been in bed all day because of pain, then what can we do? Because yes, I
Mhm.
understand it hurts, but we do need you moving. We do need you
Mhm.
not just lying in bed all day. So those are some of those behavioral strategies. Then
Mhm.
we work on the thoughts, right? Like, why do you feel like you can't sleep? What happens? We try to address those worries and sort of those beliefs as well. So we
Mhm.
kind of use this multi-pronged approach. And in some situations, they may need medication, and that's fine. But
Mhm.
usually I also want us to work on the behavioral pieces as well as medication use if needed. And so we'll work very closely with, their referring provider, their pain
Mhm.
specialist, to get them the sleep they need. Of course, if as we start to talk, I hear things like, sleep apnea, red flags, right? The snoring
Yeah.
or the dry mouth or things like that, then,
Right.
we definitely then get a sleep study.
What do you say for people who take naps? Is that a good thing? Is that not a good thing?
Yeah,
What? Yeah.
I think it depends, honestly. I'm a fan of a good nap.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think it depends. There's some naps that are detrimental to sleep. So if you're someone who already struggles with sleep, where
Mhm.
you have a hard time at night getting sleep, then a nap may not be the best for you,
Okay.
because you might have insomnia. So it's almost like you're eating your dessert before your main meal. It's just going to ruin
Mhm.
it, right?
Right.
But if you're someone who is just tired, maybe you didn't get enough sleep at night, or if you're someone who works like heavy machinery and things, and you're tired or
Mhm.
sleepy,
Mhm.
then by all means, take a nap, because we want you
Right.
to be safe. And
Right.
then if you're someone who just likes to take a little nap here and there for self-care, and it doesn't get in your way of getting good sleep at night, then by all means do that as well. I
You're
think
right.
the
Right.
only thing I would say is, if you're going to take a nap, that you don't take it too late in the day.
Mhm.
Otherwise you'll have a hard time building up enough of a drive to sleep at
Right.
night.
Right.
Um,
Understood.
yeah, and then you don't want to take a nap that's like excessively long as well. I'm sure you may have experienced that, where you go take a nap and it's
Right.
4 hours later and you feel worse.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, so yeah.
I
So if
do
you're
know
gonna
that.
take a nap, just keep it short. We call that sleep inertia. So if you're gonna
Okay.
take a nap, you want to keep it as short as possible.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So, you know what? This has been wonderful. Thank you so much. I've learned things. I'm sure people have learned things. How can someone get in touch with you? They know that they'd like to work with you. And you're in Pennsylvania. Am I right? Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
How
I am on, you could work with me different ways. I speak on this topic. So if you're someone who has maybe a practice, or you work in a group with a group of people, and you're trying to address the sleep issues, I really do provide education on that. And then I also have a one-on-one coaching program for moms, where we again talk we just scratch the surface, right? We're delving deep into why you're having a hard time with your sleep and why you're so exhausted. And so
Mhm.
we have that as well. And then, you could find me. The best way to find me would be on Instagram. I'm on Restful Sleep MD, and then my website as well, where you can really learn about what it is like to work with me, and that's restfulsleepmd.com. So those are the main places. I also have a YouTube channel. It's Dr. Funke Brown, that you could find a lot of educational content on different areas or different aspects of your sleep and how to improve it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for being here. I'm so honored, as I said, that you agreed to come. It's really been educational and helpful. Like I said, this was the most popular post, and I know this is going to be really well watched, which is also a good thing.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Dr. Funke. I really appreciate you. Until next time, everyone, peace and blessings.
thank you.
Okay.